Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. This is the BearThoughts podcast. We do this every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central PSE time here in the United States. If you want everyone to catch us live, be sure to be on the channel and be in the chat. Today, we're going to have a bit of another topic piece. I know it's not really our usual bit. We normally have it, but don't worry. We'll have some stories and some things to tell. But as always, the illustrious Corvo with us this evening. Hi, Jen.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Now you can...
I pressed the wrong button there. The cloud button is actually this one, but okay. What happened to the images of us?
I do not know.
I pressed one. Are we still live though?
According to this, we are.
Okay, I just pressed all the wrong buttons. Oh, that was so smooth of me. All right, why am I not showing up and you're not showing up either? Hello.
We have vocals. We're just the invisible man.
Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. We're back. Okay, and my camera's freaking out right now. Chill, camera. Anyways, I was trying to go for an applause button of my little thing, but I actually pressed my scene button, and my thing did not like that at all. So
give it a minute, guys. He's fixing his camera. It was doing the green screen of holy shit. What did you do?
I did something and it didn't like it. Okay, come on. What is it? Is it even? Hello? Are you plugged up?
Hello. His camera and tries to get himself going. Oh wait! Holy shit! Oh, that's not the moon. That's just his head.
Okay,
we're back.
Yeah, that was all bunch of my fat fingers. All right, and
so I can't hear you any longer.
Well, that ain't no good.
There it is. It just come back. I don't know what happened. It disappeared and come back. All right. Anyway, roll with it while we got it going. Come on.
All right. So,
yay! Yeah. Technical problems.
Woo! I'm hoping my the chat is disabled for live. What chat is disabled for live streams? Oh my goodness gracious! Don't tell me that's broken too. That wasn't. Well, it might have been broken beforehand because I was wondering like why did I not see it coming up. I might have to redo this as well. So if I can't see chat, I am so sorry, but it says chat is disabled for this live stream.
How I'm watching chat. If it does come through, even though it says it won't, I will be paying attention.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So this week we're going to be talking about some video game related things and some topics that I thought that came up this past week. I thought they were kind of interesting. And I'd like to get, everybody's thoughts here. This was not a requested thing. This is just something that came in my mind. And my brain was pretty much ablaze. And the whole topic came up when you already knew about this already previous Corvo when I talked about the gentleman saying that the games are more and more likely nowadays to take from ideas and embed them into their own video games because, well, if there's something good in one video game and it worked just as good in your video game, why not? Like, if you want to make the best game, why not implement it? And that's what the first one came in. And and you could this is pretty much a free experiment, free movement idea here. So you could take any game, any generation, and any console, whether it be PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, whatever, name it, and embedded something from one game into another game to make your ideal game. What would that be?
Chad is working because Stealthy went, huh?
Okay, so you're okay. Well, then my thing's not working. Yay! Oh, me. All right, so what would be your ideal game? Now, if you want me to start off, I can start off, but I'll let you.
Okay, so the only question I have, criteria ideal game. Are we talking about futurized ideal game to come, or our ideal past game that was our idyllic game in the past?
Well, that's okay. Well, games are ever flowing, but if there was already an ideal game already for you, already put out, then you can name that game. But I'm talking about a game that if you could take right now and you could take some other aspect of another game or another thing and just plow it into your current game.
All right, so my ideal game. All right, so I don't know if a lot of people know this. I play a lot of Destiny when I get a chance to, and there's actually new content for me to play.
Mm-hmm.
I love Destiny. I love the flow of Destiny. I love the way the game performs. Um, but I would love to take the ability to swap between your characters, like in Genshin,
Yeah.
and give that to Destiny on the fly. I would love to be able to go from my Titan to my Warlock to my Hunter at any given situation in a battle to maximize my abilities.
Okay. What about the
That would be idyllic for me.
what about the whole, like, instead of I know it would be a very, very large game and probably be far faster. Because I play a little bit of Destiny. You saw me play it. I know when you normally get in a plane, there is a little bit of a loading screen to get the other planets, right?
Well, yeah, but that's part of the difference is the loading for that is part of the aesthetic because
Mm.
it's not just a bar going across the screen. You're literally watching your craft travel. Granted, you're traveling and you're waiting for the next area to load, but you still have that animation instead of just
Yeah.
loading type of
When you
situation.
want to, like, let's just say this is a pretty much a fully experimental idealized thought process. When you want to forego that and just actually fly there, like literally you have to run to your ship, get on your ship, launch off the
Yeah,
planets,
I can
fly through
see
the
that,
space.
and that would make it. You're right. That would make it better. The only problem with that is that when you do that, you're not just traveling. You don't have to just fly your spacecraft there. You're gonna have to add some other things to it because, or in effect, you're just doing the same thing as loading screen.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to add in some like either some impromptu battles within your StarCraft or whatever. I think a better alternative to that would be to have it completely open world and port points.
Mm,
So kind of like the statues in Genshin. You can pop from here to Leeway to Inazuma to
yeah.
Inkamania. Okay, do the same thing. Let's discover some technology within Destiny that can be implemented on all the planets to where when you're running around open world, you can step on this pad and boom, you're on Mars and you're off and you're still running and it not be a loading screen. It's
Okay.
just it's just a fast travel.
Well, Lost Ark has a very interesting, and I'm going with this. Lost Ark has a very interesting way. I know you're not interested in the game, but it has a very, I keep on saying interesting. I know, unique way of travel. Okay, so they have boats, so you can get to other
Right.
continents and other islands within the game. You can fast travel from one location to that location as long as it's on the same continent. But if it's not, you have to get to a boat and get to that continent. Once you are there and you discover new places to teleport, you can teleport around on that continent, but you cannot teleport back to the other continent. You have to get on the boat. You have to go through the water and take the travel and whatever it might come about while you're traveling from one continent to the other continent. And
Right.
once you're there, you can teleport around.
Well, see, Destiny already has that feature.
Mm,
Once you travel to a planet, you can go to different locations via your map, fast travel.
okay, so
I'm talking a full on let's let's go ahead and make the architecture required to support if he runs across this teleport pad, instantly he's on the next play. He's on the next planet.
okay,
And he
so
keeps moving.
once you're there, you discover it, and then you have the
Then you
opportunity.
have right.
Okay.
Up until then, yes, fly your own ship, impromptu battles, whatever.
Mm,
But then add the ability at some point that when you find this technology, to be able to use the technology to instant travel wherever you need to go. It'll make game flow faster. Granted, it's going to cost them more money because they're going to have higher architecture and they're going to have to do a lot of coding on the back end.
mm.
But
Yeah,
for
this is
gaming
pretty much.
for gaming experience on our end, I mean, could you imagine? Like you said, you've played some Destiny. Could you imagine running around on Earth? Right, you're doing your quests and stuff. You roll up, you check your next quest. Your next quest is on Mars.
Yeah.
Well, instead of having to go to your ship in orbit, pick the planet, wait for it to fly over there. you know that, hey, this telepad over here on this side of this region, if I just run across it, I'm there.
As long as I
Or
already discovered it.
right, as long as you've already discovered it. So now you're booting, you're crossing the map, you're
Mhm.
killing anything in your way. You get to the pad, touch the pad, boom, now you're on Mars and you're on the next quest, and you didn't have to wait, but however long it took you to walk your butt to the pad.
Okay. I
To
would
me, that
think.
would be an improved game experience.
Well, yeah, it would be definitely improved and might be probably a lot faster. And some people might like the quickness of it. Some people might enjoy the trip because, like, honestly, sometimes I do just run around Leeway or run around the continent just so I can maybe find something I haven't found already, or maybe I'll discover something I haven't discovered. But there's not very much in Genshin Impact. But you could probably like this again. This whole idea process is hey, money's not an object and talent is not an issue. So
Right.
the money and talent is not missing. Coding's not missing, so you can do whatever you want to. My thoughts was going with your game is with the flight thing. Way you can make it interesting is maybe make there not only be combat in space, but also be raids in space. Be a custom making your ship better, more combat, equipped,
Yes.
ready, and then make there like be bosses out in space where you might want to actually go fight them. Because like some people might be like, oh, I am more into my character progression. Somebody else might be like, well, I'm more into my ship progression. I want my ship to be the top of the tier. I want my ship to be, if anybody comes out
Right.
here and you are not friendly with me, I'm going to be able to jack you up and then beat the heck out of you because I've been, progressing space combat, and that could be a place of contention because some people might
Right.
not want PvP, but let's say if you want a PvP, your ship could be like a battleground, kind of like the anime where you're the scary space pirate. When somebody says you're a spaceship, you run the
Yep.
opposite way
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't want to mess with them.
But yes, that's kind of where I was going. Like, they've already started making changes though to where you can have customizable weapons. Like the latest weapon that they've released is supposed to be customizable for you. You're supposed to be able to go in and make changes to the weapon yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, in the past, that was not a thing you could do. What you got is what you got. All you could do was empower it and make it stronger. There was no real customization. Like I couldn't. I mean, yeah, I could I could technically add the ability to have a more stable stock, but nothing physically changed. But with this weapon, you can change blade lengths. You can change what the blade looks like, curvature. You could change what. Yeah, it's customizable, and they're going that way. So I would like to see them to go back and put that same ability on some previous weapons, because like my Ariana's Vow, I would love to be able to give it a little bit longer barrel length and a little bit higher optic sight.
Okay, so can all the classes get that weapon, right?
Yeah,
Does
every
it?
class can have one.
Okay, and does it change upon the class, or is it just a?
The only thing that is class dependent with that weapon is like a hunter with, their void powers for hunters are also obviously different than the titans or warlocks, so there are going to be a little constrictions about what you can upgrade there because they don't want to give you the ability to make yours like a titan, but you
Yeah.
have free range within a certain group to make it the way however you want it. So, and I get that, I
Okay.
do.
So when did that game come out? The I know the first one, but when did the second one come out? Like, was that PlayStation 3?
Shit,
PlayStation
that,
4?
that game came out. Destiny 2 come out, hang on, I'll tell you. Not real sure. I've been playing it so long that I've stopped
I know
keeping up.
that's what I was just thinking because like the game Final Fantasy Online that's been out since I want to say PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4
Okay,
themselves.
it was released September the 6th, 2017.
Oh man, that's some time away. I'm surprised they haven't came out with Destiny 3 by now. I know sometimes they want to keep games alive, but
They're not through with the content that they had developed for 2 yet. I mean, they have a massive amount of content that they're throwing at this thing.
mm,
And and honestly, whoever's writing this canon, this story for this, if they run out of material, it's because they drank too much and hit their head.
Okay, we're back. We're back on YouTube.
It looks like it. Yep.
Okay, so take 2. All right.
We'll try again. All right, so back to the discussion.
Oh, this will be one of those situations where we're gonna take both videos.
We were talking about.
I was talking about the ideal video games.
Leo says, no, I'm not trolling.
You were trolling me because that was Twitch. I don't need to be on Twitch. I'm on supposed to be this is my YouTube podcast.
No, they said you kept cutting out.
Well.
So anyway,
so
back to the discussion. So yeah, I think making those altercations would make that my ideal game.
Okay, so my ideal game, which I would think, I don't know. There might be some people that again, people have their own opinions and important contentions, but this is my thoughts about it. I right now have used, as I told you before the podcast, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Arceus, and you said that you're not really interested in it because it doesn't look like your ideal version of it or something like that, or it doesn't look like
right.
Okay, so the game hits a lot of check marks for me, right? Open world for a large portion of it, check. Like that, very much open world for like the maps, even the small, even the first very beginning the area, the first area looks very small until you get further out, and it actually goes very big. But having things to help you move around the map a little bit faster definitely makes the map a little smaller, right? It's one of those situations where the world seems so big until you have a means of transporting fast. Right. So it really goes from this to something like this within a matter of minutes. Not very many minutes of the game, mind you, but I'm just saying it feels like that once you hit that threshold. And I'm kind of hitting that point, but I'm not that far into the game, so there's still a lot more places to go. Pokemon are everywhere. I like that. You can actually see shiny Pokemon, right? You see shiny Pokemon. You see Pokemon moving around. They can run away from you. You can hide and sneak up on them. You can throw Pokeballs. And Pokemon battles aren't this long, drawn out, highly tactical, three-dimensional chess game, even though for a video game for kids, not supposed to be that difficult. But some Pokemon games were pretty.
Right, but I like the tactical side of it.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I love.
Well, this game is combat it's fast, right? You're done with the combat within 4 to 5 moves, if that. You get in there, you can make the Pokemon do a certain move. You can either have them make them do it really, really strong, which will put you more vulnerable because if you do it really strong, your Pokemon have longer to react, or you could do it very, very light, but make the Pokemon attack faster. So let's say I do Ember attack. I can make it strong, which will but the problem is it couldn't make the other Pokemon do 2 attacks before I could do another one, or I could do it really light, and then I could do maybe 2 Embers off. It won't be as strong as it's just regular, just straight base, but it will get off twice, and maybe I can get them down or get them almost killed before they can get attack off. And of course, you can catch them while you're battling them. You can move around your actual human character while you're battling them. You can get hit while you're battling them, which would damage you. Which is also I like that because I like the idea of you're in a Pokemon world. These Pokemon will your up if you let them. And I've already been knocked out by Pokemon. Pokemon will attack you, will fight you, will knock your ass out. So I like that. My problem is with the game is all those things aside, is it doesn't really feel like you are, because it's beginning of the world, you're really hunting Pokemon. It doesn't feel like that. I can see them, right? I see them, and there's some Pokemon that are really aggressive, but I don't feel like I'm hunting them because they're everywhere, right? They're not really hidden. They're not really, you're not really having to seek them out. I like the idea of having to go find Pokemon. Because in my brain, for some reason, when I remember Pokemon, I remember seeing Pokemon in the cartoon show. They were hidden amongst the trees. They were hidden amongst the bushes. They were hiding in the water. They were hiding in caves. They were not just...
Right. They weren't just standing out there going, "Here I am, Pokemon. Come, let me beat your ass."
Yeah, or, but And of course, I want Pokemon to roam. I don't want Pokemon to stay in one spot and then move over here and move over here, move back there. Like I want Pokemon to roam, and I want dangerous Pokemon to roam too. I want to feel like I am in a safe space, and 5 seconds later, there's a Pokemon behind me. I didn't see them, and they're charging at my ass because they're enraged. Like
Right.
it's a dangerous place, and it's not like it's all fun and games. There is some
Yeah, you want to feel like this is a good place to have a picnic. Where the hell did that Onyx come from?
yeah, and busting out of side the mountains. I want there to be a sense of discovery. You played a lot of the Pokemon Snap games, right?
Yeah.
You remember how some of the ways you had to get some Pokemon out to actually take pictures of them?
Yeah.
I want that as well to try to catch them. Like, I want to bait them out. I want to fish them out. I want to take TNT, blow it to the side of the mountain, see what comes out. It's kind of one of those situations. I want to see how I can get them to come out to try to capture them or try to, get them where I can throw a Pokeball on them. I like you can make Pokeballs in the game. Kind of weird. Honestly, you can make Pokeballs in this game. But I kind of like it because it makes me feel a little bit more attached rather than just, okay, take money, buy a bunch of Pokeballs, and throw them at their ass. Like, nope, take things you get out in the world, make Pokeballs. You have to get resources and then go catch them. It feels a little more personal.
You feel more personal. You feel like you have more hands-on with it.
Yeah, and that would be my ideal. Of course, this is a Pokemon game, so open world. I want to see other Pokemon hunters in the game. I want to see more active Pokemon other than where they are. I want to see Pokemon roaming. I want to see the sky's the limits. I want this to feel like a living world, not just a world that you are in.
Right. Right.
And that goes
You
from
feel a part of it.
Yeah, and they have some time, nighttime, daytime Pokemon, which is a nice little touch. But I want there to be more than, okay, well, I'm in this zone. Nighttime is happening. Okay, this Pokemon's going to show up now. Okay, now I can start hunting them down. Like, I want to go, let's say I'm out at night. There's Haunter here, but I go to a haunted, graveyard. There's some Haunters running around. I wanted, and then maybe they go haunt a house or two, or I wanted the world to feel ever changing. And that's a game that I feel like it would need constant progression, kind of like your game, right? It's a game that they're constantly progressing the world and the gameplay.
You have to, because if you don't, then it gets stale. People stop playing.
And that means, like, even though you could buy this current expansion, right? You bought this current expansion that costs you money, and here's some new content with it. I would feel that if you did that with Pokemon, people would be, well, one, they'd probably be willing to pay for it, because let's be honest, it's Pokemon. And two, it will keep a game like that from just being another of those games that just died out. Like, oh, it was fun for a little while. I got my money's worth out of it, and now I'm on to the next Pokemon game with the whole new premise. And no, just take that, and you already have a building block and build on top of it.
Right. So, question for you.
Yes.
Favorite classic?
Oh, okay. It's probably a bit of a okay, now I'm thinking about it. Okay, so my brain immediately goes to Mega Man X. I don't know why. Mega Man X.
That was a good one. It was a great game. I'll give you that.
I had hours in that game, and but my problem is also Secret of Mana. As everybody knows, I'm such a fan of that game.
And by the way, just so you know, they have a wallpaper for that for PlayStation 4.
Secret of Mana. It was for his.
We're working on it, guys. Sorry, we've had some tough technical difficulties.
Yeah, because of OBS updating. This is the second time it's open. It's updated both on Wednesdays.
Okay, so you can hear Grumpy now. What about me?
Is he too strong? Is he too powerful?
Okay, so I'm good. Okay, we're good. All right, so Castlevania Lament of Innocence, they're saying I'm echoing.
You're echoing? Yeah, because you're apparently coming through my own headset somehow. So I'm trying to figure out how to stop that.
Okay. So better now?
No, it's not. Dang it! Oh, if it's not OBS, it's Streamlabs. It's not Streamlabs, it's OBS. Each one of them have their own difficulties and problems.
Leo just said I sound fine to her now, or them now. So, okay. So, Castlevania Lament of Innocence was really the first Castlevania for me that I played that wasn't a side scroller.
Yeah.
Granted, it was over the top and, an over the top view, but I enjoyed that game immensely. And it's probably one of my favorites. So, I would say the greatest, probably the biggest influence in my gaming
was Castlevania.
Yeah, look, specifically Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Because there's a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, I played
a bunch of them, and I enjoyed them all.
I think I played maybe 2 of them out of all of them I've played in my past. I think 2 of them were probably the most infamous ones for me. And I haven't really got that deep. I know there's a lot of good ones on like PlayStations too, like came out later years. And really side scroller games, while they're still great, I really don't get into them much anymore. And that's kind of a shame because I know some good ones out there. Like Owlboy was a great side scroller game.
Right.
Love Owlboy. Cuphead, I know a lot of people love seeing that game because people torturing concept of Cuphead just pisses people off, but people find it funny. Yeah. But Castlevania, yeah, very good choice. And of course, the Castlevania anime series just shows the power in that genre, almost by itself.
To me, Castlevania, the overview of all of it is damn near a dynasty in video games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been through the test of time.
Too bad it didn't too bad it didn't withstand all of it, because it didn't maybe they can make an anime series out of all of the Castlevania series, not just like that one set, do all the like the prequel stories.
Right. I would love to see them to go all the way back to the rest and do the rest of them. But for me, in as far as video games wise, from where it started to where it's at, I mean, they've got Castlevanias, even though they rewrote some of the lore and stuff. They were still pumping out Castlevania titled games on PlayStation 3.
Well, I'm sure they keep on making it because it's a very popular series, and I know isn't one supposed to come out within a couple months or weeks?
I don't know. Honestly, I've been so out of touch as to what's coming out and what's not with everything going on outside of the world of gaming and podcasting and stuff. I'm honestly don't know. You would probably know more about it than I do.
I'm gonna look up real fast. New Castlevania. Yes, October 21st this year.
Okay, so October 21st.
Wait. October 21st, 2021. It's already came out.
So what was the title?
This is a report for it, so it might be let me work out here. New Castlevania reports. Let's see, working by Kodamu. Let's see. Castlevania Lord of Shadows? Is that an old one or a new one?
Yeah, that's the old one. I mean, they did.
Okay.
They did Lord of Shadows and Lord of Shadows 2.
You know me reading. I'm not that good at reading. I'm trying to just skim through it and trying to see the words for it. But there is reports of a new one coming out. But there's a video of it.
That is supposedly on, if you guys want to check that out.
It looks like they're doing another. Let's see.
I know I saw it in one of the I don't know if it was PlayStation or Nintendo Switch that did their little game report. Games coming out in the next year or so, or coming out this year. Castlevania was one of the games. I know I saw it.
Yeah, there is a new Castlevania coming out. I think it was for Switch. I think it's mostly mostly a side scroller style.
Yeah, it's a side scroller.
But no, what I mean is I'm waiting for them to do like a Castlevania, like they did Lords of Shadow and Lords of Shadow 2 for like a console for like PS4, PS5. Um, I would buy that. That's Castlevania is one of those games that I don't even have to look at. If it says Castlevania on it, I'm damn near it's guaranteed.
Okay, so does a game have to be for you a game that has to be on a certain consoles? Because like right now, as you well know, a lot of game companies are being bought out by big brands.
No, it doesn't have to be on a certain console. You're talking to the guy that has every Nintendo version all the way up to Switch, every Xbox all the way up to Xbox One, every PlayStation all the way up to PS4. I don't care what console it is.
Mm-hmm.
All I care about is what it does.
Okay, so because as you well know, Microsoft just bought Blizzard, and then PlayStation just bought the people that made Halo, Bungie. Yep. So it's like it's the people that made Halo that was once on Xbox played by PlayStation, but the people that also made some PlayStation games just got bought off by Microsoft. Yep. So it's like they're kind of just changing roles here. The major games.
Well, basically, what that was, oh, you're going to buy up the people that used to make games for us? Fine. We'll buy up the people that used to make games for you. Let's go.
And then those games would become, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but those games might become exclusive to those consoles. And I kind of just want to go, forget the console war exclusivity. I think it's dumb. I think it's archaic, and I think it's
completely stupid. It is completely stupid
because it doesn't really. It only hurts the consumer. It really does.
For instance, here's a good thing. Here's a good example. PC and PlayStation 4 have decided that they play well together. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna play good together. Hence why you can play Genshin crossplay with a PC player.
Yeah.
There's realistically no reason why you should not be able to do that with an Xbox, because most PC users are running Windows, which build Xbox. So you can't tell me you can't do it. It's just you're being an asshole and won't do it.
Yeah, and
you're gonna let me take my Windows-based PC that I bought the Windows license from you for, and I can play with PlayStation, but I can't take my Windows-based Xbox that I bought that has the same license and play with PlayStation. What the fuck?
Yeah, it only hurts consumer, and really, I think it hurts a bottom dollar or two, because there's some people that will never go to console because they're not into it. They like mouse and keyboard. People like Asmongold. I don't know if you know who Asmongold is. He's a very popular streamer. He's one of those people that is primarily PC based, and he will stand on his heel and die on it. Mouse and keyboard is a far superior controller system for games. And some people
my personal opinion is I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I play it on PC. I play it on console. It ain't about what I'm using to play the game. It's about the game.
Yeah, and he wants games on PC though. Like, and I just want games just in general.
Yeah, there you go. I don't give a shit. What, you gonna put it on PC? Fine. You gonna put it on Xbox? Fine. If the game grabs me, I don't care what the hell you put it on.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to play it.
And some people want to be able to move around with it. Some people want a nice compact system and be able to sit in a living room couch and with a controller. And some people like me want to sit down in front of multiple monitors and have my hand on one mouse and hand on the keyboard and just sit there and relax.
Great Lambino says, preach.
So I just want games in just general. And of course, Steam is one of the biggest. Like, they are a giant for a reason, because they just have so many games to choose from. So there is no, hey, can I buy a game for this console? Like, no, they just have all the games. You play them and you buy them on Steam, and you have this big old collection of video games, all digital.
Right. And you know what I'm going to find hilarious? they've tested this, and I don't know how many are actually out there. But Steam at one time was testing making a console. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off when they make a console that can play every fucking game in their library that includes both Xbox games, PlayStation games, and PC games, and crushes the entire world of this fucking stupid ass war.
Yeah, and just put it into it, really. And what they just released God of War, the newest one on PC, and the newest Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and Stealthy just said she loves whichever gives her the best intuitive gameplay.
Yeah.
Which means, I mean, look, man, like I told you before we even started this stream, I play Genshin primarily at my PC. I will not lie and say that it feels more natural because of the way the game plays.
Yeah.
But I have now rearranged settings on my PlayStation controller to where I'm almost as damn comfortable sitting in there playing it.
Yeah, because some people are just more they feel like controllers are comfort. And I get the controller thing because I've been, like I said, I've been playing Arceus on a controller. I wouldn't know how to feel if I played on mouse and keyboard. I don't.
Yeah, and when I first tried to play Genshin on a PS4, it was a pain in the ass. But that is primarily because at that time I did not know where to change the button configurations.
The layout. Yeah.
Once I changed that layout to match how most other controller games work on that console, hell, I was fine. I'm good.
And that's something like this right here. In this controller has reprogrammable buttons. So, even if the game doesn't give the option of changing the controllers themselves will allow you to do that.
Stealthy says, I don't like rearranging settings. I'm lazy. Great Lambino says, me too, Stealthy.
But I like that, having that, like, hey, the game won't give it to me, the controller will.
But the thing is like I said, I reconfigured it now. If she's in there streaming a console game and I don't feel like getting up to come to my PC to do my resin or whatever, I can sit right there and do it. Which is probably about the maximum of what I'll use it for. If I'm going to do something serious, a storyline that requires, some serious, I got to get into it. Yes, I'm going to go to my keyboard for it. Why? Because it feels more intuitive for that game. But at the same time, I don't want to try to play, something like Soul Reaver or Legacy of Kain Defiance on my keyboard.
Okay. Real quick for everybody that is watching right now, don't press the like button on all these videos. I know this has been 3 times it's done crash. I'm going to be taking all this and putting into one video and then thumbnail. If you could go back and watch that and go hit the like button and all that stuff, I would appreciate it. Leave a comment for next type of for next podcast you want to talk about it. Be sure to let us know down below in the comments. I would say put it in the chat right now. But like I said, all these VODs will be deleted after I download them and then combine them all afterwards. But I think some consoles honestly should just, and this is my thought I had a while back, should just all, like Xbox and PlayStation, even Nintendo, should just forego the console making process and just make PCs. Just make straight up computers that can play your games but have like all the functionalities of a console and a PC.
That's never gonna happen because
I know
nobody's gonna want to give in.
I know, and
to do that, I mean, realistically, you don't have to wait for them to do that. You could technically build a machine
yourself
that is capable of doing that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's you having to spend time, money, and effort to do that. And unless you're somebody that is really, really technical savvy, it's a pain in the ass for you.
And I've already seen, like, they're already putting like Ryzen processors into their consoles. They're already putting M.2s in their consoles. They're already putting, even though they're soldered on RAM, but motherboards. They're putting power supplies. They're putting a lot of PC and the graphic cards. Forgot about that.
Do you know what the biggest blow up of the world would be? is all it would take is one console maker to do it. Make an upgradable graphics unit. Let me, when my graphics start going downhill because new games are coming out on the edge, let me go buy a graphics card and swap it out. If somebody ever did that, they would destroy the competition. Because at that point, any gamer worth his salt that knows things about gaming knows that console is going to last me for a while, one.
Yes.
And two, I have the ability to, if a cutting edge game comes out and it is running doggy on this console, to make it work properly.
Wouldn't that be pretty much an idea of pretty much a PC at that point? Because it's swappable ports?
Yes and no, because what makes a PC is not strictly the components such as a graphics or a processor, but it's all the other stuff that goes with it, like the OS.
Oh, I'd say the OS is a...
You got the OS, you've got the peripherals, you've got how it communicates. All that makes a console a console.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if somebody was to ever do that, it would be insane.
I think they should just make the OS of, like, you know, let's say for all sake purpose, a Nintendo Switch PC, and it has a program that you can launch, kind of like let's say OBS or Streamlabs or Discord, that launches the Nintendo Switch OS.
An emulator.
An
emulator.
But an actual like it's actually embedded in the PC.
Right. Be able to have a single console that when you log in and ask you, what do you want to play? Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox?
Yeah, and then
I want to play Nintendo. So you hit Nintendo, your interface for your Nintendo loads.
Yeah, it's not just a ROM.
But here's the caveat to that. The reason that won't work is because none of them are going to get together and decide a standard controller setup. Because there's no way in hell you can do that right now, because everybody's controllers are configured slightly different.
Yeah, it's pretty much whatever you feel more comfortable in your hands. Which I'm not saying Nintendo Switches are very comfortable
in your hands. I mean, on an Xbox, you know, the standard button for attack is a specific button.
Mm-hmm.
And it's placed in a specific location. On PlayStation, it's a different standard button, and it's in a different location. Joysticks on a PlayStation are side by side, whereas on an Xbox, they're slightly offset.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So until somebody comes up with a standardization on controllers, that's not going to happen, because then what would happen is every time you loaded a different one, you'd have to say, okay, I'm loading into the Nintendo one, let me get the Nintendo controller. Yeah. I'm loading into the Xbox one, let me get the Xbox controller. Nobody wants to have 3 different controllers for one console.
What about the same signal, though? Like, let's say they all have the same signal of Bluetooth 3.0. Like, they all have the same signal, while the controller layout might be different. The signal is the same, so at least you could say, hey, PlayStation, same controller. Nintendo Switch, same controller. Xbox, same controller. Because it's same signal.
Yeah, but then you have to get down to the mapping for the developers developing the game. Because the signal can be the same all day long, but it's going to send different commands based on how that controller is coded for that game. So if Xbox is saying X is going to be my attack button all throughout this game, but PlayStation says no, square is going to be my attack button, you got the same signal, but the buttons are labeled different than what you're playing.
Okay.
So you have to take it all the way back to development at that point.
Okay. I get it. Again, that's something I would like the game developers to really change and over the years. But this is one thing I wanted to bring up. And this is something I feel I don't really know what really happened and what changed. When did really special edition video games start becoming a big fad? And recently, I bring this up because recently a game that just came out, I forget, you might know the game, where there's like a girl that has red hair and she's like in a robotic world and she's going around, it's not Log Horizon, It might be. Is it Log Horizon? Someone in the chat might know the name of the game here. But they just recently came out with the game, and their special edition, their idea for a special edition was all digital. There was no hard copy of it at all.
Right.
And to me, I heard that was going a special edition that didn't have a hardcover. There's no books.
Because what they did is they did not make the special part of it. It is Lambino said Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that's the game.
But what they did is all the extras you get for the special edition were content within the game.
Yeah.
They didn't go out for shiny stuff on the outside like you could put on your shelf, like with my mask back there from my Dishonored or anything. They didn't do any of that. They just gave you more stuff in the game.
Yeah, does that make it feel like to you? Does that make it feel like a special edition?
No, it doesn't. I like to have something to display, which is why Stealthy's got her Ni no Kuni special edition, why I have my Dishonored special edition, why if they release the second chapter for Final Fantasy VII, I will have the special edition to it. That's why I got it for the first one. I literally have the Shinra ID card, the whole 9 yards that came with that. To me, special edition gives me something to put on my shelf and say, look, I've got the special edition.
Yeah, I feel I'm the person of a bit of attachment. I like the physical aspect and owning things, and I've always will like that. That's the way I feel about things, and that's why I say, hey, you give me a manga, I'd rather feel the manga in my hand and read it than have a digital manga, even though they're the same thing. But like, why are they going there? I was already pretty upset when a lot of games went digital. Like me, I didn't like the digital change in games, but it made things easier to go around.
I'm with you on that. Proof in point. Do you know how many different physical copies of Destiny and Destiny 2 I own? A shitload. Why? I download stuff digitally, updates, the patches and stuff. But I still want that physical copy, even if I never put it in the damn console to play it, and I'm running it completely off the digital end. I still want the physical copy because I don't trust that one day I'm going to want to load that fucking game, and it won't load because that server's not there.
Yeah, and of course, one day, the game might stop being supported, or one day your digital copy might get corrupted. There's always a possibility of any of those things, but at the same time, as long as the internet's still alive, let's say the internet doesn't, one day crash, we're all screwed because a lot of the games we have nowadays are on online, and if that crashes, you can't access your Steam, you can't access all your games you got, so all your physical games will be all that you have. I like that, but of course, same time, special editions, I like the art book, I like looking at the art book, I like the figurine, I like the little knickknacks that come with it, and of course the special case is cool to display. Lala, you little turd, she's so bad. And I like.
Don't be abusing my girlfriend like that.
Lala,
you want to talk to her ugly?
You want to see Daddy? Come here. But yeah, I like being able to have that, but I thought about it, when did special editions come about? Because I was a kid. We didn't have no at least I don't remember no special edition.
I can remember the first special edition of any game I ever seen was the golden cartridge special edition of the Legend of Zelda.
Okay, so what was special about it? Because I don't remember what special. I remember seeing it
because it was literally a golden cartridge.
Yeah, and that was it.
It was the one that gave you the ability to press power and reset to save.
Okay, so that was it.
That was it.
A golden cube, and you had the display of that, and the box says special edition, and that was it. But really, that was enough, right? That was enough for us to really have a physical thing that we can show. Here's a regular edition, and here's a special edition. It was unique. It was collectible. It was tangible. And now we're going to go to the point where we're going digital and going deluxe edition to digital. I'm like, and then you're going, they're already saying some games are coming out lately where they can't meet supply demand. I'm like, you probably know more of this than I do, but you can't make enough supply demand of a digital video game.
But here's the problem. every time every time they create a game, even if they go digital, they have to store copies of that game somewhere for you to pull it down from. There's only so much storage space on a server.
Okay.
So if they have more demand than they have copies to be able to be stored on their equipment, then yeah, you have a supply and demand issue. So
is it like a code that they go, okay, here's a game, you get a code stamped to it, like a digital code, and that's your code that goes through your game, and the next game, another code, game.
Yep. Every one of them has a serial of some kind, and that's how it's tracked. That's how they know it belongs to you. It's registered to you. That's how they use it. I know it's kind of an overall thought that everybody thinks, okay, they built this one game, it's sitting up there, and everybody just pulls a copy of it. But it can't really work that way, because then you're all pulling a copy of the same license, the same game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not sharing like a torrent or something like that, where you're downloading all the same digital assets and information and the code for it. It's your own digital assets and your own code.
Right. Not to mention, even if there was a single copy sitting up there that everybody could pull down, how many people do you think can hit that at one time?
That's probably the only part that I can think of that makes sense to me. Like, can't download this game at this time because server capacity is full. Right. That would be like, to me, if that was a reason, they should state, hey, our servers are kind of crashed right now because you fuckers can't stop downloading the game. And that would be mine.
For instance, in my household alone, 3 PlayStations have pulled down the deluxe edition of the new Destiny. The new Witch Queen release that they did. 3. That's just in this house. Do you know how many worldwide probably pulled that shit?
No idea, but I just know right now Europeans are having problems playing the new Lost Ark because they ran out of it. And of course, the Final Fantasy Online also had the same problem. And I was so baffled by the whole idea of, like, you're running out of digital games. Okay, how does that make sense? But your concept and your reason behind it makes sense. But to an average consumer, all they see is it's digital.
They wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't know because they don't deal with that on a day-to-day. And I get that. I mean, prior to me being into what I do for a living, I wouldn't have known that shit, before I was educated. So I'd have been like the same as y'all. How the hell you run out of something that's just bits and bytes sitting out there?
Yeah. I would really like, because as you well know, Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out within supposedly this year.
Yes, and there will be, if that motherfucker doesn't have a special edition at my house upon release, the hell has frozen over and I'm dead.
Yeah, of course, if they only come out with a digital version of it, I'm gonna be furious.
You and me both.
I am not about to go buy and download no special edition, only Breath of the Wild, knowing how big my fandom of this household, of this game, and most probably your household too, on Zelda, and the course, Japan is notorious, especially Nintendo, about making really cool special editions for video games. And they're always elaborate. They always have a figurine of some sort. They always have like these cool art books and maybe some guides. And their games are always like, they're good at selling things. And if there's not a figurine or amiibo or something else inside of it, I'm going to lose my stuff. Because I don't want other companies to go, well, Sony did it for that one game, so let's try it out ourselves. Like, I don't want to become a fad. Digital games are one thing. Deluxe editions, don't touch them. And then of course Anime brought it to me like, what were they? Okay, let me ask you this first. At what price point you think it'd be too much for a deluxe edition of Breath of the Wild 2? I know you're not really hard on it, but like there has to be a standard to how much you're willing to pay for it. Okay, let me go. Let me start you here. Okay,
you're asking the wrong person. Because
okay,
I don't do the budget for a reason.
Okay, so yeah, but let's say it is a special edition, special cover release of Breath of the Wild. It comes with a 6-inch figurine with the base, comes with the art book, and comes with the, let's say maybe a controller comes with it, and that's it right there. But that's a special edition for that, or it comes out with one that comes with Nintendo Switch and the game.
For Switch and the game?
Switch and the game.
That's a $600 or $700 limit for me.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about the figurine box, because that's what I would probably want, right? I would probably spend around $200, $300 for that. But that's probably too much for me. But some people are like, oh, that's like $500 worth. I'm like, I can't spend $500 worth on something like that. I really can't. But if it,
I can, whether I should or not, it's a different story. But I can.
Yeah, and of course, like the Nintendo Switch for me is like, I would like a Nintendo Switch, but I want to buy a Nintendo Switch that's truly an update from what I already have. Like, it better be the newest, not the newer of the Nintendo Switch, the OLED one. I don't really care for a prettier screen. I want a better processor. And I that's what I want. But I have a feeling they're probably be coming out with a console, a Nintendo Switch and game special edition, and I'm not looking forward to that. But at the same time, I don't think I could say no to it.
Yeah.
And I don't want a lot more companies to do that either. I don't feel like they should just release, okay, here's a new game. All right, buy a new game and console. But you already have the console. Well, you don't get no special edition. I want the normal goods. I'm that's what I'm used to. I don't care if you make the freaking box golden. That's what that's what that's what it takes to make it special and make it feel like old school Zelda.
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Cartridge gold too. Heck yeah. I like that feeling. And the last topic I want to have Brittany here. I don't know if you keep up with a lot of, you just said a few minutes ago, you don't keep up a lot of game news and stuff like that. You know Attack on Titan, right?
Yes, I do know Attack on Titan.
I brought this topic before. The ever-changing video game landscape and how anime is becoming into more and more mainstream, at least in the United States mainstream, like well-known games that are very popular to, let's say, even the average consumer.
Right.
Attack on Titan has now been released not once but twice in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone game. And Captain Levi was released in the game, which they didn't call him Captain Levi, but it was pretty much Captain Levi. And they just released just yesterday the Armored Titan as a Call of Duty champion character to play, and a gun that looks like an Armored Titan into the game. And I find this like, it's almost weird to me, as if these mainstream games that like I would say like are nowadays, or mom and dads are playing these games, are now having anime introduced to them through video games. And like some of them are like, well, but there's no Attack on Titan characters in World War II. I'm like, no, but obviously this genre is really popular, so
Right.
much so it's being literally introduced to your games now.
Right.
Which were very much I would say, well, they would kind of say some of them are gatekeeped by the people that are.
Yeah, and see, for me, it's I like it because it's a what if. You know, you always sit around, you're playing a game, you're playing something like Army of Two or something. You're like, what if that character in that anime was in this game? You know what I would do? I would do this. Well, now they're giving you that what if option. Okay, yeah, there was not an Armor Titan in World War II, but what if there was?
Yeah, and like the guns and like the whole aesthetic and idea of it. And of course, Fortnite, you already talked about bringing Bleach characters to it. And Jujutsu Kaisen to Fortnite. Kind of weird. And they already brought Naruto there. Okay, so we're already going to past Marvel characters, Wolverine, Thanos. So it's like they're already breaking the mold in what is the norm, and showing the power of what anime is at least in the United States. And I said in the past, I never thought anime, even when I was a kid, would ever hit this such a strong mainstream where the entire states were into anime. Because I always knew anime was popular in the United States, but not where I was in the
thought
South.
it would. I did.
I did.
I had a feeling it would.
I thought like it would always be like such a small little group that like everybody would still be questioning like, we watching that anime stuff? What is this anime? What is, are you 12? Are you a kid? What's wrong with you? And then I'm seeing Call of Duty, a game that I thought was always like tough guy, mirror men, the manly men play this war shooter, gun shooter, tactical fighter. They're not all, well, the more hardcore, I would say, manish side, I would be playing that. While I was playing Final Fantasy, Pokemon, and Mega Man X, I was playing like the I guess you say the more kiddish side of video games. Right. Call of Duty was always the more mature side of it, and I played Call of Duty, but I was never like I had never played Call of Duty for the story. I played it back in the day for the PvP, and now it's about it. And now I see that stuff in the games like that, and I'm taken aback. I really am, because in the South where I grew up, anime was, when I brought up anime, most of my friends were like, anime? What is anime? And I introduced them to it.
That's for me, that's strange, because I grew up in the South too, and I'm older than you are, and I never had that experience at all.
I had, of course, I came from my school wasn't very big, but it was probably one of the biggest one in my town.
I lived in a town that the school might have had 200 kids in it. Okay,
I don't think mine had 200 kids,
and I still didn't have that. You could walk anywhere in town in 10 minutes.
Shoot. I don't think. Well, I could not walk anywhere in town in 10 minutes. But it did feel small to me. And again, anime was not very well known. It was known within my group of friends, because you kind of make friends with people that have interests of you. That's how life usually goes. But it was a very small thing. It was mostly Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. But when I had a manga, my friends borrowed my mangas. Which one of them never came back to me. I was saddened by that. Or we talked about what this week's Dragon Ball Z came out or whatnot. And it was a very small group. And if anybody got like a anime video game, it was like, oh my God, like a Dragon Ball Z fighter. That blew our minds. And it was not very much looked upon, right? It wasn't like, you watch anime, you're the devil. Unless you play Pokemon, then you might be seen as that's the devil's work. I did get that a couple of times when I was younger. But
yep,
it was the cool kids. Like even the jocks were in Pokemon. Like the jocks were not into Pokemon at all. And probably if I talked to them today and say, "Hey, you watched this week's Attack on Titan," they might be like, "Hell yeah!"
I had football players that were in the Pokemon when I was in school. So
well, I think Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon is, I can almost say, entry, especially when I was younger, into it. It was kind of like the gateway drug, if you want to call it a drug. Yeah. But it was the very much the idea of it, and I like that they're doing it. I wish more video games would do that. We're bringing it more line stream. I know some people may not like it because they feel like it's encroaching on, a lot of American staple things, right? But I think it shows the power of it, and sooner we realize what makes good stories, the better. And anime is a good example of what makes good stories, because they make good stories.
Yep.
And
I agree.
Even seeing something in a video game, even though I probably won't never play Warzone, that alone will probably get someone that's not into Warzone be willing to give it a shot now, because they have Attack on Titan characters in the game. Even though you're not going around swinging by the hip and slicing people's heads off, which honestly, if they did that, it'd be too much like Fortnite. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Anyway, so that's it for our topic this week. I hope everybody had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Again, if you're watching this, hoping on the VODs, because like all these are being deleted as soon as I'm done here. Make the thumbnail, I'm deleting them all, downloading them, put them together, and I'll post it up. If you could please go back and at least watch the first beginning of it where you might have missed, hit the like button on the video, leave a comment on what next topic you'd like to bring about and the next podcast. You're more than welcome to. And of course, you have to catch us live every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central PST time here at the BearThoughts channel. Be sure to go check out some of the other videos. Some around here should be on the screen by now. You should see them. Hope you go check them out. Go leave a comment on those as well. Share this if you would please. Share this. I would like to hit 100 this year. We're at 82. I would say over 40% of you now are not subscribed to this channel now. 40%. And last week was 20%. Now it's 40. So why? Please hit the subscribe button. Notification button, all that fun stuff. As always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life, good love. Bye.
Bye, guys.